The time has finally come. I have waited over 250 days for this, but the time has come to read Taming 7. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hey guys, what's up? It's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel, and obviously I'm so excited because in today's vlog I'm going to be reading my most anticipated release for 2024, and that is Taming 7. This is the 5th book in the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh, and I am so ready for it. Oh my gosh. It is Thursday the 18th. It is about 6:30 in the evening, so I still have some light out, and I was going to start this on release day, but I ended up getting this crazy idea in my head last month to tandem read the first 4 books. So as we all know, books 1 and 2 take place at the same time as book 4. And there are tandem guides for Throne of Glass and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know what? I want to read this in timeline order. I read it in timeline order last year with Saving 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, but this was fun, like literally jumping from chapter to chapter and changing out the books. So I vlogged that. I did a whole guide to it up on my channel if you want to check it out and try the tandem, because it was so much fun. But yeah, I had to refresh myself with the Ballylagan gang, and now I am ready to jump into Claire and Gibsy's story. Anyway, I didn't think I was gonna get an arc, but I kind of at the same time thought I was. So I did get to be part of the cover reveal for the UK covers back in like June or something last year, and I was kind of promised, along with a few other people that did that cover reveal, that we would get to be part of a lot of promotions and arcs and stuff. And so that company kind of ghosted all of us. And then Bloom Books literally DM'd me like the end of March asking for my contact information and all of that so they could mail me stuff. And then they ghosted me. So, yeah, it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's whatever. We can't always get the arcs that we want, but it's fine. I'm fine.
Wait, I'm fine. Totally fine. I don't know why it's coming out all loud and squeaky, because really, I'm fine.
Anyway, it gave me a perfect excuse to do the tandem read and just love these characters all over again. So anyway, like I said, I'm fine. Ready? Enough of the melodrama, enough of the sad me, woe is me, because I have my most anticipated release. It is here. I am excited. So I'm gonna go make myself cozy, read, cry, kick my feet in the air. Probably more crying than that, but you know what? Let's just do it. It is about 11:30 Thursday night. I have my first check-in. So as you can see, I'm about like 25% through, I don't know, something like that. So basically the first part of this book, we're gonna rewind a little bit, and we're at the end of the summer when Johnny comes back. They have like, I think a week before they all go back to school, and so they're kind of all just hanging out and everything. And so I have had people message me on my bookstagram asking if I'm going to update the tandem guide. Yes, I am. I will have that hopefully up within the next week or two. But yeah, so I'm just gonna say there is a lot to unpack already in this first part of the book. Now, I have seen a few people on bookstagram kind of not so happy in their stories talking about how this book really focuses on Huey and Lizzie. And it's really no secret that I really want Huey and Lizzie's story. I just think it's teased really well, and so far we're getting quite a bit already so far. So basically this is the end of the summer. Claire has just turned 16, and from what the gist I get of this is that within their group, the Gibson family and the Biggs family have been really super tight for a really long time. The 4 parents kind of grew up together. They ended up being families that lived across the street and grew up together, and so they just know a lot about each other. And so in the Binding and Keeping 13 duet, we kind of know a little bit about Gibsy. We know that he's really deathly afraid of water. There's an incident at the end of Keeping 13 on Johnny's birthday when they're all camping, and he and Lizzie get in this really heated argument where she pushes him in the water and everybody freaks out because he's really scared. He doesn't know how to swim. And basically the repercussions of that camping trip are still in full effect at the beginning of this book. Gibsy's having a lot of nightmares from it. Lizzie's been in a mood all summer. Huey's been acting weird. There's just been a lot of things happening, and there's kind of a little bit of a fight that goes on in a camping trip at the beginning of this story. They're going on another one, coincidentally, right before school starts. But yeah, it's just a lot to unpack. So Gibsy and Claire, I guess, they are so tight. Like, I mean, we already knew that from the 13 duet, but in this story, like, Gibsy sleeps in her bed every night because she can comfort him. She knows things about him that the group doesn't. She sees him as Gerard or Jared. Everybody else sees him as Gibsy. And so she just knows how to comfort him and coax him. And it's just, yeah. And like I said, the stuff with Lizzie, it's a lot. But I am going to read some more and maybe update you tonight, maybe update you tomorrow. I don't know. We will see. Okay, a little bit later, I have a little bit more of an update. I think I'm going to go to bed after these chapters just because I don't want to finish this. Like, oh, I said, this is going to be the same exact slump I was in after redeeming 6 last year. So, I don't know. I will probably turn around and reread the series all over again because that's just what I'm all about. But I did decide to switch over to my Kindle just because it's a little bit easier to hold. Plus, as you can see, I'm in my basement. And yes, I know this is not an aesthetically pleasing room, but you know what? It's literally the only room in the house that I have total and complete and utter silence where I don't have to worry about people running around or being quiet if people are sleeping. So this is just kind of what it is, but it's a little bit darker in here, so just the Kindle makes it easier, faster. I mean, once again, like I said, I don't want to read this fast, but anyway, let's talk about Taming 7, our next update. So I'm about, according to the Kindle, I think 40-ish% through, and yeah, a lot more stuff heating up. So we're at the beginning of the school year. Joey and Aoife have made their appearance, and oh my god, like, just, I swear to God, every little character moment in this series just gets me. And you have Joey and Aoife rocking the mom and dad role. Joey is really slowly integrating himself into school and to the group. Aoife's not in school yet. She's going to join the group after Halloween, which I'm hoping will be soon in this book. I don't want to have to wait till the end, but the girls are hanging out with Aoife. They have like little movie nights and stuff, and it's just, I love it all. Another thing I want to touch on is we are getting a lot more Feely in this book. I knew we were going to get a lot more Huey with being Claire's brother, but I'm really happy we're getting more Feely because we really don't know about him, and his book's probably going to be last, and I need to know more about him. He's just that quiet, dark horse, but he's a farm boy and he's mysterious and he has these ties with Lizzie. Gibsy keeps mentioning how Huey and Feely have this connection to Lizzie that he just doesn't understand, and I just need to know more. But I also do want to say, for the Lizzie haters, Lizzie is definitely a Nesta type of character, like from the ACOTAR series. Either you are going to loathe her, absolutely can't stand her, or you're going to be her #1 stan defending everything she does. And it's just, Lizzie's a lot. Lizzie's a lot to process. You learn a lot about her. I will say, if you have read 7 Sleepless Nights, this is like a, I don't know if it's a novella, but it's this book full of short stories from each of Chloe's series, and there is a part in there from Huey and Lizzie, and I'm not sure where in the timeline it falls, but in that story, you learn that Lizzie is a cutter, and it just really makes sense with everything she's dealing with. And you also learn that Huey's really been the person that's always there for her. You also learn in this book that Huey and Lizzie actually had a relationship with each other before he ever got with Katie. That's another thing I want to touch on. One funny thing that I think is hilarious is the fact that you really discover in this book that Johnny really doesn't know shit about his friends. And that is what I love about this story and these characters and Chloe's writing, because she does such a good job with each character and their POV and just how they notice things or they don't notice things in their own world. And, you know, Johnny is just, he's focused on himself and rugby and Shannon, and really he doesn't like drama. And then you have a character like Joey, and he is really observant. You know, he was able to observe that there was something going on with Huey and Lizzie at the beginning of Redeeming 6 just by walking in on an argument between them in the kitchen. And it's so funny. So there's this scene in here where the guys are out at the bar at Biddy's one Friday night, and basically they call Johnny out on really not knowing a whole lot about them. And Johnny is talking to Huey. He's like, yeah, you've been chasing Katie around since this year. And Gibsy and Feely are like, no, he wasn't. That was a different girl. And like, they're all referring to Lizzie, and it's just, it is a lot. Now, I will say the tension between Gibsy and Lizzie in this book is just, it's not fun. And I just know that it's going to lead to this ending that is just going to really tear a lot of people apart. So I am going to keep reading. There's still a lot of happiness in here, I will say. But it is a little frustrating because Claire and Gibsy, like Joey and Aoife, this is a friends to lovers story. But, Gibsy just won't pull the trigger. But he's got a lot of demons, and I totally get why. But we'll read more, maybe update tomorrow, I don't know, we shall see. Alrighty, it is Friday afternoon. I've just been kind of running around all morning doing errands, shopping, all that crap, you know, basic adult necessities that need to be done. But I have read more through this. I'm almost done, honestly. Like, well, I guess I'm not almost done. I'm more than halfway through, and in my world that means it's almost done, and that means I'm gonna cry a lot. But yeah, I have some updates. I have some check-ins. I don't remember what I was last talking about last night. I think I remember just like touching a little bit on the Huey and Lizzie drama, and there is quite a bit in this book. I want to say so far I've seen some people's reviews that have finished this book, and a lot of people were complaining about the amount of Huey and Lizzie spent on this book versus Claire and Gibsy. And so far, to me, I think that the amount of time that is spent on Huey and Lizzie is the same amount of time that was spent on Claire and Gibsy in the 13 duet. I just think that Chloe does a great job at teasing the next couple and making you want their book. So I really don't think that they're outshining anybody. I will say, though, however, Claire as a main character, I think she's falling flat and one-sided. Really, the only thing she has going for herself in this book is really nothing. Like, she's trying to help Gibsy with his trauma and everything. She's fighting with her friends. She's noticing the drama with her brother and Lizzie, but, like, she doesn't have things of her own going on. And it's just really bothering me. Like, at the beginning of the book, like, one of the first chapters, her brother gets her a job at the hotel he works at. Like, they're both lifeguards or something, and they talk about it. She says she got the job, but like then it's dropped. We haven't really gotten anything else. And I have seen some reviews on that. Like, there are things that are brought up in this book, and then they're just kind of not mentioned again. And I can kind of see that. Like, obviously I'm not done with this yet, and I don't want to give my final judgments until I'm done, but this is the first book in the series that is traditionally published, and you can tell. Like, I'm just saying, the thing that makes this series so special is the length of them. Like, yeah, they're big, but you don't feel the thickness when you're reading it. I don't know, this series is just so special with the conversations and the details and everything that goes on, and there is a lot missing in this, and it's like it was traditionally published for a contemporary small-town romance. But that's not what this series is. You need more. You need the details. You need the in-depth conversations. And I feel like there are chapters missing in this book. I honestly feel like there are chapters that Chloe was told to take out. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I also know that, you know, she shares a lot of her writing process on her Facebook page. And I know that when she was writing this 6 duet, like, she said she had a lot and she had to cut things. And I don't know, this just feels like there's things missing, you know? But okay, so I'll just talk about some of the stuff that is going on so far. So I think last night I touched on the fact that, you know, This is a friends to lovers story, just like Joey and Aoife, but Gibsy is very, like, he doesn't want to make the jump. There are things hinted at in this book that, okay, so I am just going to go out there and say this. It hasn't been revealed yet what exactly Gibsy's trauma is. We know he is dealing with the death of his father and his sister. They drowned in a horrific way. You learn that Gibsy himself was in the water and that it was Huey and Claire's dad that saved him, and some people think that it should have been his baby sister that was saved and not him. And he has a lot of trauma and demons from that day, but he's also hinting on the fact that there were other things that happened after this. And I don't want to jump the gun, but he keeps specifying that he won't let people touch him, but he's great at servicing other people. And it really makes me wonder if, he was a victim of SA. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. But Claire, okay, I will say, he's giving to Claire, but he's still not making that final jump. I don't know. It's just, once again, this series is just so much to unpack. And also, the Lizzie Gibsy stuff, I mentioned last night, it's not fun. It is so much. Lizzie is definitely at her all-time worst in this book. Like I said, the camping trip from Johnny's birthday at the end of Keeping 13, it really set up a chain of reaction of feelings and events because of what happened. We all know that Lizzie and Gibsy were in a fight near the water, and Lizzie got really heated and she pushed him in. And since everybody knows about the day he almost drowned, it's a big deal. And there was a lot of heated arguments. Lizzie took a walk with Feely to kind of cool off. And people are still feeling things from that day. And Shannon is definitely the peacekeeper in the friend group. She keeps saying, you guys, hurt people. You have to listen and understand what she's going through. And Feely and Huey are really the only ones that back Lizzie up and are there for her and hold her and support her. And Claire's just really becoming more and more on Gibsy's side the further we get through this book. And I am going to say, honestly, 4 of these people need to sit down and have a conversation. I really think all of this stuff with Lizzie's sister, these people need to just sit down and have a fucking conversation. But they're teenagers. I get it. It's drama. It's what it is. But it's a lot to unpack. So, anyway, I literally just finished a part where Claire kind of overstepped her bounds a little bit. She kind of does that. And I will say this, because obviously this whole vlog is spoilers. In 7 Sleepless Nights, it is revealed that Lizzie is a cutter. In 7 Sleepless Nights, it's revealed that Lizzie is a cutter and that Claire and Huey, they know about this. They kind of help her and back her. And at the beginning of this book, Claire thinks she's cutting again, and she gets Huey involved, and it just kind of, a lot of things going on. So Claire oversteps her bounds, and she ends up going to Lizzie's mother and telling her that she thinks that she's cutting again. And Lizzie gets so upset by this because obviously Lizzie's sister, she committed suicide. And so Lizzie's parents are very fragile with the only remaining child they have left. And so her mom, I guess, broke down and had to go to the doctor. She got very ill from this. And Lizzie got really upset and she went over to the Biggs' house and they all got in a fight. Gibsy was there. Then Gibsy stormed off. And Claire mentions that the only person, once again, that was able to calm Lizzie down was Huey. And so I need that story. But yeah, so I think I'm going to just try to finish this today, maybe tomorrow. Like I said, take my time because I don't have any information on the next book and that makes me want to cry. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to finish this and then I will give my final thoughts. Okay, different day, same shirt. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, I have finished Taming 7. It is Monday afternoon and I did finish this yesterday, and yeah, I needed some time to just kind of stare at a wall and really process my thoughts. My last check-in, I really did tell you guys, my thoughts on this being traditionally published, and now that I finished it, I'm standing by what I said the other day because I felt like the ending of this book gave me a lot of whiplash. It was very, very quick, and I can't keep going back to the fact that I really think that there are some missing chapters somewhere. And this is why I like indie. I mean, I've always preferred indie over traditionally published, and it's so great for Chloe. You know, I'm so happy that she's getting her coin, but, you know, I do miss the way that this series was released originally and just all the extras that we got. But anyway, I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to unpack. So let's just get into it, shall we? First thing I'm going to talk about is the relationship between Claire and Gibsy. I really think in terms of a romance, this book did a great job. Obviously we get a lot of them teased in the 13 duet. They are both very sunshiny type of characters, and in this story you find out more in depth about each of them, and you really discover that Gibsy's comedy and being the life of the party all the time, that is how he masks his trauma. The thing about this series is pretty much every single character is dealing with their own demons, and what I love, again, about Chloe's writing in these characters is they're all so different, and they all deal with their demons and their trauma in their own different ways. And Joey took drugs, and Gibsy cracks jokes. And obviously from the cover, we knew going into this story we were going to deal with the water and his being scared of drowning. Claire really helped him throughout this book. There was one scene in the bathtub where she was just helping him learn how to be submerged into water, and that's once again where I'm going to go back to the traditionally published, because we only got one chapter of that and then they never talked about it again. And that was just a lot of things in this book, was a lot of things that started and then we just didn't get the follow through for them. So yeah, but in terms of Claire and Gibsy and their relationship, I really did love this story. It is revealed that pretty much every night since childhood, Gibsy sleeps with Claire, like he sleepwalks over to her house and just makes his way into her bed, and she's just always the one to comfort him and be there for him. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about Gibsy, because unfortunately, like I said before, I don't have a lot of Claire. Like, we know that Claire is this bubbly, sunshine person that kind of oversteps her boundaries and wants to help her friends, but she just didn't really have anything going on for herself in this book. Like I also mentioned before, she got a job and that was it. We never even got a scene of her first day at the job. They didn't even talk about her first day at the job. Like, it was so brushed over, but the stuff with Gibsy was really great. So I will say, obviously, once again, this series, total trigger warnings, mile long, but this book is going to talk about a different topic than we are used to in the other 4 books. The other 4 books, we are really used to domestic abuse being the central theme. In this one, Gibsy's hiding a lot, and it's not revealed until towards the end, and it is quite a twist. So we all know that the tension between Lizzie and Gibsy is stemmed from the fact that Lizzie's sister Kiva unalived herself years ago due to the ending result of a relationship with Gibsy's stepbrother. Now, you also learn in this book that Gibsy absolutely hates his stepbrother, cannot stand him, but you really don't know until you get to the twist. So, yeah, let's talk about it. So it is revealed that when Gibsy was a child from the ages of 7 to 11, his stepbrother Mark S.a'd him just over and over again. And it is revealed that, so Lizzie's sister Kiva was the babysitter for all these kids, I guess. They all really, really loved her. And Gibsy confided in her, and she didn't believe him. And so everybody, the whole town, especially Lizzie's family, they are just very stuck on the fact that Lizzie's sister committed suicide because she was R-worded by Gibsy's stepbrother. Well, the twist that you find out, obviously, is that it was obviously Mark doing it to Gibsy, and that, you know, he tried to confide in his babysitter. So The reason she took her life is because she walked in on it. So she was dating Mark and she was babysitting Gibsy one night, and she went upstairs to check on him and she walked in on it happening. So I guess Kiva wrote 2 suicide notes, but there's only one that people know about. And I guess it just wasn't detailed enough to confirm that Mark was the one who R-worded her. Well, then you find out that Gibsy has actually been holding on to his own letter from Kiva for years and years and years. And this details everything. Like, she even says, take this letter to your mom, Gibsy. And then she even puts, I, Kiva Young, on this date, witness to this happening. And so it's a lot of why Gibsy is so mad at Lizzie over the years, because he's like, you don't understand the details of it, because all Lizzie sees is that her older sister was wronged. She doesn't have her in her life anymore because of this. And it really just, once again, gets down to the fact that I said earlier, that these people need to just sit down and have a conversation, but they won't. And so Gibsy obviously was going to keep this for the rest of his life, but Claire ends up finding the letter on the night of the winter ball, and there's like this fight with Lizzie, and she's getting so tired of Lizzie talking crap to Gibsy, and so she just like screams it in front of the entire friend group. Everybody breaks down. Gibsy runs home and like kind of blacks out and starts trashing everything. And Johnny really, really is there for him. And I have to say, Johnny and Gibsy's friendship in this book was just everything. Like, Johnny was there for his guy. And, you know, Shannon, once again, Shannon really was just trying to be the middle person. She didn't want to lose either one of her friends. And, you know, it's really going to be interesting to see in Claiming 10. I think Shannon's still going to have that middleman thing, and she's going to feel really awkward about it, because one thing that was really specified throughout this book too is the fact that Johnny was not taking sides. You know, they really emphasized that he's the leader of the group and that he would hold his tongue when Lizzie was around or just walk away. And pretty much the climax of this book is Johnny makes his decision. There is a line drawn in the sand, and you get to the end of the book, and literally the last chapter is Claire walking into the common room after New Year's and just talking about how the core group is just broken and fractured, and everybody is scattered and just kind of quiet and not talking to each other. And that's going to be the setup for Claiming 10. And I need it now. I really need it now. Then just some other lighthearted stuff, like things that I really, really enjoyed in this. Obviously, it is so nice and refreshing after 4 books of pain and trauma, just to see Johnny and Shannon and Aoife and Joey just so happy and thriving and in love. And the little Lynch family and their annex with baby AJ, I love it. I absolutely love it. And then there's, you know, a few scenes at the school with Johnny and Joey and Gibsy. And there's this part where Gibsy's really, really jealous of this old boyfriend Claire had because he wants to ask her out again. And so Joey takes him out to the parking lot to mess with his car. And Johnny's just sitting there shaking his head like, I'm not here, I'm not seeing this. And Joey's like, come on, Gussie, let's get your rights. And yeah, I love these characters. I love them spending time together, and I need more. I need more. All right, so just a little bit of closing thoughts, and then I'm going to wrap this up. But I want to talk about Huey a little bit separate from Lizzie, because he had some stuff going on in this book, and it wasn't all tied to Lizzie. Like, there's this little stint in here where he gets really, really sick, and he's just depressed. You can really, really tell, and there's things going on with him. And like I said, I need more. I will also say we do get a little bit more Katie in this book, and I think that confirms to me that I really think that Feely's book will be Feely and Katie. You know, it's been kind of a question mark if Katie was going to be the final girl, but the last chapter of this book, there's a group of girls that are talking about how the group is fighting, and they're like, oh, the core 10 is fractured. And so to me, the core 10 involves Katie, and I don't know, I just feel like with all of the drama and the fact that Feely kind of has inserted himself into Lizzie and Huey's stuff, I don't know, it really kind of tells me that we'll probably I don't know, Katie will probably be that final girl. I am a Lizzie fan. Lizzie was really, really hard to stomach in this book, I will say, but you know, when you only have the side that you think is right, you're gonna stand firm on that. And you know, when you think that your sister, you know, unalived herself due to being R-worded, it's just a narrative that you're going to stand firm on. So I am really excited for her book and her healing journey, and to get in her head and her thought process and more of these characters. I really, really did appreciate getting more Feely and Huey because we didn't really know a lot about them. And it's just, yeah, that's why I need the next book. I'm sorry, the next book needs to be longer than this because, yeah, this was great, but there was stuff missing from it. So anyway, I'm still gonna rate it 5 out of 5 stars just because I'm a freak like that and I love the series and I just love the conversations going on. But it's not that perfect infinity 5-star for me just because, like I said, there is stuff missing. But anyways, I'm gonna go continue to stare into the void. I've tried to start like 3 or 4 different books since yesterday and just nothing's doing it. So I might just go restart Saving 6 because I'm toxic like that. But anyways, thank you for sticking along with me on this fun vlog. I always love vlogging Boys of Tommen. It's my favorite thing in the world. If you haven't already checked it out, I have a vlog where I tandem read books 1 through 4. I made a whole tandem guide and it was so much fun. So if you want to read it in timeline order, you can check that out. But yeah, that's really all I have. So as always, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!